We are gathered here today in observance of the life of William Adar Ossran III, ninth generation of two great houses, descendant of Vivian Ossran, our first arbiter, savior of our people, who protected us from the demon hordes, and Charles Moore, first acolyte to the high priest, keeper of these catacombs. William lived up to his heritage in every sense. He was a dependable man, a good son, a loyal brother, a true friend. Taken from us too soon, William was strong of mind and body, strong-willed, good-spirited, a true friend to his community. May he rest now underneath that great starless sky upon which we shall all come to know, and here among those who had come before us, where we shall all come to lay. May those gathered here today carry his memory with them, always and forever. We see two families standing within a cubicula within the catacombs of Grovehold, the first of which consists of a wiry couple in their 50s, William Ossran II and Saria Ossran, and their now only son. Jake, would you describe your character?
My name is Thiradin Ossran. I am 6'1". He's kind of tall, lanky. He's kind of a brutish-looking guy. You know, he always kind of has a bit of a scowl on his face. Because of that, it's kind of intimidating, I would say. But that's only when he's sober. And right now, he is incredibly drunk. He is wearing kind of the formal garb of Grovehold. His hair, his long, kind of dark brown hair is tied back into a neat bun. At the beginning of the day, he was obviously well-dressed, but now he is kind of turned into a bit of a sour-looking man. And he's kind of like leaning at the back of the catacombs, drinking from a pocket flask as they kind of go over the funeral rites of my dead brother.
All right. Besides you and your family stands the family of Saria's sister, Engrin Ai. She's a short woman in her late 40s. Besides her is her husband, Kobat Ai, a wispy man in his early 70s, who's leaning with one hand on a cane and the other hand supporting himself off of the shoulder of his youngest son. John, would you describe yourself?
I am Engrin Ai, 20 years old. Light blonde hair, gray eyes, but like kind of darker gray eyes. He's kind of scrawny. He's probably about 5'6", with soft features. He wears like a white tunic and black pants with just some leather shoes. And he carries a satchel over his shoulder. He's supporting his father and, making sure he's not falling asleep.
Ingrin's older half-brother, the current chronicler of Grovehold, Theodore Ai, is notably missing from the family and not attending the funeral. Besides the two families here, we have He Moore, the head priest of Grovehold, who has just said a eulogy. We also have a couple of farmers standing about, mostly people who owe the Ossrans favors. Grovehold is a interesting village. It's located along the southwestern point of the Isle of Ossea, the former seat of a great island empire. The empire had met its end from the unending reign of steel-clad demon troops that had rained from the skies almost 300 years ago and led to the downfall of all of the outer isles of the empire and the eventual downfall of Ossea itself. It was then that Grovehold was founded. The founders, in a last-ditch effort, warded the town in layers of anti-magic and created a 300-foot wall that encircles the whole town without entrance or exit. Now only the Watch patrol the wall, and everybody else lives the entirety of their lives for 9 generations now within the city. In 2 weeks' time, it'll be the 273rd Founders' Day, paying homage to those who'd come before them. So it has always been, so it shall always be. But returning to the funeral, William Ossran III has just died. He is was the eldest son of the Ossran family. They are the descendants of the first arbiter, but several generations back, Thiradin, what would be your great-grandfather, lost the seat of power in a scandal around embezzlement, and since then the Harhelms have ran the city. Most people like the Harhelms, but the Ossrans remain as people you can go to get things done when the Harhelms are not willing to work with you. Thiradin, you are taking the long way around, back to the entrance to the catacombs and to the surface.
Yeah.
And it is while walking through the Miller family tomb that you stop to tie your shoe and look up to notice something odd set in the wall. You see along the underside of the outer edge of the locus, which is it's the alcove that bodies are put in a crypt. A small, clean hole that is the shape of the symbol of the town of Grovehold. It's a circle in the center with 12 radii like a clock coming from it. It's set kind of underneath to where you would never see it unless you got down on the ground for some reason, like tying your shoe.
Yeah, I think my vision is kind of blurry. I'm pretty sauced at this point. I've been drinking. I think I've been kind of drinking since I heard word that my brother was dead, and I think my vision's kind of blurry. And I look at this symbol, and it's like an indentation. You said, right? It's
Yeah.
right.
You can see it clearly goes deep. You're not sure how deep.
Right, and so I kind of like take my finger and just kind of like poke to see if I can get my finger in there.
You get your pinky in there, and you feel some kind of like metal at the end of there, but nothing happens.
I kind of pull my pinky back, and I kind of like sigh to myself, like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I kind of stand up, I dust myself off to the best of my ability, and I kind of I just kind of leave the symbol to itself. I have no reason to investigate any farther. As far as I'm aware, it might just be like a figment of my drunk imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have spent the majority of the last couple days surrounded by my parents at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that now that my brother is laid to rest, Thiradin is going to go to the tavern, get himself a large pitcher and drink for the rest of the day.
Awesome.
I would like to make sure that my dad gets home safe, and I noticed how drunk Thiradin was getting, and this has burned many people in the past, so I'm gonna go over to the medicine maker's hut and get some herbs for a hangover, and wait to watch him stumble home.
You take your elderly father back home. He has gone a bit loopy in the last several years, but you have been good about taking care of him. Your position as the medicine maker's apprentice has especially helped with that, as you have access to more medical knowledge than everyone but the medicine maker himself within the town. After safely returning your father to your home, you are able to make your way down to the south end of the village and visit Sal Creekfoot, your mentor, and the medicine maker.
I'd like to take my usual route that doesn't go through the actual town. I'm not in the mood for seeing anybody.
Yeah, understandable. You take a route leading, zigzagging down through the farms and to the forest. Coming up on the medicine maker's hut, the rest of the houses here are more like wood board pioneer houses. Saul's hut is much more hut-like. It's kind of a squiggly oval shape, and in the back it opens up to a large chimney in the center, from which there is almost always a steady stream of smoke. You can smell the various herbs and medicines as you get close to the house and wander on the path up through its herb garden.
Hey Sal, you here?
Yeah, I'm here. That you?
Yeah, I know I said I wasn't gonna come in today, but I needed to pick up, some medicines.
Well, you know where things are in the garden, and unless you need something from in here. And Engrin, did you collect that mist berry I told you to?
Oh, I forgot. I'll bring it in tomorrow.
All right.
Which berry was it again?
Mistberry.
Mistberry.
You kids
That's-
never listened.
That's the one that's like right by my house, right?
Yes, Engrin, it is.
Right. Okay. Well, See you tomorrow, man.
All right. Over the course of your conversation, he got less and less pleased looking and more suspicious, kind of. As he watches you.
I dipped out as soon as I could because I didn't want to tell him that I spent all day yesterday meditating outside of his hut. And I go and find, some good headache herbs and maybe a caffeinated one and a big jug of water.
Yeah, I'm not an herbologist. I mean, the only thing I've dropped is mistberry, which I just made up. So you find whatever
Isaiah,
those are.
Beautiful.
Jake, can you hit us with that herbology knowledge?
Yeah, dude. Go get some red leaf, maybe some thistlewood. Maybe, I don't know. You could hit him with a silver leaf. Some brambleweed.
Brambleweed does sound more real.
I think I'm gonna opt for the red leaf and the brambleweed.
Nice.
Uh-oh,
That'll do the job.
The poison ones.
Oh shit!
No, I make a nice little tea and I pouch it up. It's more like crushed leaves in water than an actual heated beverage.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty gross, but it is gonna make him feel better. I know that it has worked in the past.
Yeah, it tastes like bad lettuce, but highly effective.
He usually doesn't remember.
Yeah, that is a benefit. But yeah, you are able to make your way back to the tavern. Upon going in, you see there's a couple farmers sitting around, and of course, Thiradin is at his usual table.
Yeah, I got in there. I ordered my pitcher on the Ossran family tab, and I went and sat down at the table that me and my brother we used to, after we would do some work for mom and dad, we used to come to the tavern and drink and celebrate. And I go down. I'm sitting at the table that we would always sit at, and I'm just kind of carved into the table is my initials T.O. and my brother's initials W.O. And I'm kind of rubbing my finger over the W.O. as I drink just huge gulps. I'll also kind of talk with the regulars and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do they view me?
There's a couple people here that have gone to your family before for help.
Mm-hmm.
And so those people are a bit more kind to you. You see the blacksmith, Lily Harthand, is sitting at one table. She's not a particular fan. Her job is quite hard, and you spend most of your days not really working.
How old is Lily?
Lily is in her later 30s.
Okay, so she's a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to mess with her. I don't think we would know each other that well. She probably just doesn't...
Yeah.
We wouldn't have gone to school together because I'm 23, so never mind.
Yeah. You're like that Ossran kid to her.
Right.
Today, said Mance, the bartender, isn't here. He's usually pretty good to you. Instead, you have Julitha read out the tavern owner. She isn't particularly fond of you because you don't have the greatest track record for being quick to pay your tab.
Yeah, but she always gets paid. She might not get paid today. She'll get paid. The Ossrans pay their debt.
Yeah. Oh God. What have I gotten into? Well, she knows that today was the funeral, so she doesn't say anything. Doesn't give you a hard time about it this time. Just gives you a picture. You exchange a few pleasantries, and at this point, Engrin walks through the door with a jar of a murky green liquid tucked underneath his arm.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting at this table, rubbing my finger over this carving, and just kind of staring into my mostly drank pitcher.
I'm gonna walk over to the table and hey Thiradin, why don't you know what? I'm actually 1 second. I'll be right back. I go and order a drink, and
Julitha gives you a nod. And how's it going?
As good as it could be right now, I suppose.
Julitha!
I'm just gonna go sit down. Sorry.
Julitha! Get the boy something strong.
It can just be just an ale. That's
the
fine.
strongest you have on me. On the Ossrans.
I can pay for it. It's fine.
No.
Just a nail.
She seems to mostly ignore you, Thiradin, giving kind of a sad look in your direction. She looks at your money, Engrin. You know what? Just keep it. It's fine. This one's on me.
Really?
Just don't let him make a mess of the place, okay?
That's the goal.
She gives you a nod of understanding.
I take the drink and I go and sit down with Thiradin. And I plop my jar of gup in front of him.
What's this?
You know what it is. Just
Okay, no, not now.
well,
Not now.
at some point tonight you're gonna have to drink that, okay?
Can't wait. I can't wait. Really, I can't. Engrin, I have a question for you.
Okay, shoot.
What do you think is out there?
I think you know what I think is out there.
No, tell me. What do you think is beyond the wall?
Engrin nervously looks around to see if everyone else is making their own noises and stuff. If I can, I'd like to quietly tell Thiradin what I think.
Yeah, there's a group of people playing a fairly loud game of cards at another table, so you feel confident nobody's listening to you at the moment.
Thiradin, this world is much bigger than Grovehold. There's wonders out there, I'm telling you. They just, I don't know, man.
You know, Billy used to say that there were lakes the size of bigger than we've ever seen. You know, so much water, so much land, and I grab my pitcher and I just drain it and like slam it down, and then I kind of like look at you, Engrin, kind of like, hey, do you want another? Even though I don't think have you even
I haven't
touched
even
it?
taken a sip.
Yeah. So then I go, Julitha, one more for me and my cousin.
I give her the cut him off sign.
She nods in agreement.
Of course, Thiradin. I mean, that's what all the stories say.
I didn't believe Billy when he said that. I thought it was quite stupid. But now he's dead. My brother is dead.
I'm sorry, Thiradin.
You hold on. Julitha!
Yes, Thiradin?
One more, please, just for me and my cousin. Yes?
I mouth water.
All right. One more, Thiradin. She turns and arranges a pitcher and brings it over of nice, cool, clear water. Sets it down for you, and then tries to get as far away from the table as she discreetly can.
Yeah, I pick up the water and I give it a sniff and I kind of like scrunch my nose and place it back down, and I say, maybe no more for me then.
Thiradin?
Yes. Yeah.
You okay?
Oh, I'm just fine. How may I ask how you are?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little worried.
No.
I'm sorry Theodore wasn't there. I know.
Oh, fuck him. You know, look, I know he's your brother. But fuck, I don't. He's a piece of shit.
Well,
By the arbiter,
he's had a. I mean,
no, tough time. You know, Billy never liked him either. But that's besides the point. I didn't want him there. I'm glad he didn't come.
okay. I don't know. I wish he could just show a little respect around here. Hey, Thiradin, you want to get out of here?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I say we go over to the forest.
Thiradin's eyes kind of light up. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at. Let's go then. He kind of pushes himself up out of the off of the table, and like instantly his legs kind of like he kind of like it's almost like he's on a moving ship, but he kind of like manages to steady himself, and he grabs the pitcher of water or the flagon, I suppose, and just I would say drinks it almost in just like one long drink, and puts it down on the table and goes, Judith, I must say the new ale is a bit weak.
I'll have to talk to Seth about that.
Be sure you do. And Julitha, I'll send one of the boys around with the payment.
Always appreciate.
Good. I appreciate you. Pillar of the community. Julitha Redout.
I take a nice hearty swig out of my mug, but Engrin isn't very good at drinking.
Yeah, and so you're drinking, and Thiradin is already like moving towards the door.
And I like have to put the thing down, and I grab the jar of the weird tea.
Yeah.
I have to run after him. Wait up, Thiradin!
What do you do with a drunken arbiter? What do you do with a drunken arbiter? What do you do with a drunken... No, I'm okay. Engrin!
I'm coming, I'm right here.
Early in the morning. And we stumble out into the night.
Yeah.
I imagine you stumble out kind of towards the mill, which is located across from the tavern. You're used to the setup of buildings around here that you can use to support yourself.
And I put my hand on the mill, and then I spit on the building. That's for Billy. and I then like start to kind of like move my way forward. Eventually, I kind of get my ale legs, if you will, and I start kind of moving with a bit more control. Now that I've been up and about for quite some time, and I'm kind of walking with you, Engrin, and I go, Billy always liked you. He really, really did.
I mean, he was one of the few that still believed my father.
Your father's he's a good man. A bit, he's a bit out there. Don't get me wrong.
He's right.
Well, he might be. And he keeps walking, and Engrin, I think he kind of falls back and puts an arm around your shoulder for the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm used to this, both with Thiradin and my father.
Cool.
And I lead him out to our usual clearing where we can throw rocks at trees and...
God, just awesome Grovehold shit.
Think about, like, what the outside world is like.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those nights where we could run through the fields and maybe cause a little bit of an extra ruckus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you almost certainly have more leeway than normal tonight.
Yeah, so we're just... I think he's really following your lead here, Engrin.
I think I want to go all the way to the wall.
Okay.
Cool. The wall is made out of solid stone. It's almost extruded, and by almost I mean you would bet it is extruded from the ground beneath in just a sheer face of stone. It, at one point long ago, was painted a kind of purpley color, but that is now mostly faded to just be a light tint on the blue-gray stone beneath it.
Thiradin?
Mm-hmm.
It's time. I'm gonna do it.
No, you're...
I'm gonna do it.
No, you're not.
It's that time of the month. I look around for a nice big stick.
Yeah, you're able to find a pretty big stick.
I grab it. I walk over to the spot on the wall that I had picked out. I found like a tiny little crack there when I was like 10. and I've been hitting it as hard as I can for like 10 minutes once a month since then.
Okay, yeah. I would say there's like, a notable little dent in it. I would say about like somewhere between grapefruit and like a cantaloupe,
Yeah.
but you do not see any peering through the wall.
I'm gonna start whacking at it. Get me out of this prison! There's no demons out there!
Oh, yes, slay the wall, dear cousin. Make sure there's no bloodthirsty demons out there, eh? Before you do, though, because I don't want to be eaten by demons.
You know there's no demons out there.
We don't
I turn back
know
around
that.
and keep hitting the wall.
There could be demons out there.
And Engrin is not very strong or sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
And he wears out not as quick as you'd expect, but still pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And sits down out of breath. And once he's regained his breath, he walks over and hands the tea thing to Thiradin.
And I kind of look at it, and I kind of give him like basset hounds, how their eyes are just super droopy and like kind of like sullen all the time.
Yeah.
I kind of give him like that look, like, oh, like you're doing this to me. Like,
just do it.
I sniff it, kind of grimace, and then plug my nose, and with my other hand, I drown it. It's gone.
It tastes like lawn clippings that have sat in a bag for a while. Like you put them out on the wrong day, waiting for trash day.
The classic taste.
Yeah. A bit of a mulch, kind of earthy. The texture is also, it's very watery within like chunks of leaf and herb in it. But you're very used to drinking this at this point.
I pull a stem out of like off of my tongue, that like didn't go down. Kind of like flick it at you. Are you trying to poison me?
You're the one trying to poison yourself, Thiradin.
You sound like father.
Finish drinking that shit.
And I roll my eyes and I take another long drink and then kind of like throw the mug away from me now that it's empty. Don't tell me how much or how little I can drink. I'm perfectly fine. Perfectly fine the way I am.
Of course.
I'm gonna vomit.
Do it.
Wouldn't I just vomit up your elixir?
Yeah, you'd vomit out the alcohol, too.
And then, that goes on for about 5 minutes of him just being overdramatic, sitting against this tree. And then he kind of stands up, kind of rolls his head around, and then he kind of walks over to the dent that you've caused over the years. And he kind of like rubs his hand over it. In about maybe 273 more years, you might make it through to the other side.
Oh, shut up.
No, I'm serious. You might really make a hole large enough to stick your hand through, and have it be bitten off by some kind of demon creature, like a bloodthirsty fiend.
There's no demons out there.
That we...
And even if there are, if we go out there, we won't be stifled anymore. I'm telling you.
Have you ever thought about it? About fighting? About escaping? About taking our freedom into our own hands outside of...
Yeah, that's why I'm hitting the wall.
He kind of like feels the vomit come back up and like kind of goes, oh. Taking our freedom into our own hands, outside of hitting a wall with a stick.
You got any better ideas than hitting the wall with a stick?
We could.
That's what I thought. This way at least maybe our kids will be able to get out.
Ugh, children, don't get me started on children.
Jake, I'll say while you're having this conversation, especially this part, you were wearing a ring that's been passed down through your family.
Yeah.
That has the town insignia set into it. It's one of the.
I took it from Billy.
Yeah.
It was Bill's ring, but I took it from him before he could be.
Is that Will's ring?
Oh, yeah, it is. Well, it's not his ring. It was Father's ring. Before Father was Grandfather's ring, and before him it was Great Grandfather. It's my ring now, though. As much good as it will do me. I kind of take it off and look at it. How? So it is the Grovehold insignia.
Mm-hmm.
How is it? Is it like a raised insignia? And in comparison to the indentation in the Miller family tomb,
Mm-hmm.
is it comparable?
It would be smaller than that center hole,
Okay.
and the insignia on it is inset into it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a ring. It's a ring that used to mean something, but now it's just a drunk man's bauble. This is all that remains of the once great Ossran clan. Other than us, but we're not really anything special, are we? We're just.
We'll never know with these walls, Thiradin.
Well, what if we left? What if? Would you leave this place?
It's the only thing I've ever wanted.
Let's do it. Let's leave. Me and you. We'll leave.
I put my hand out to shake.
Thiradin kind of nods to himself, kind of I think the concoction sobered him up quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there's still kind of that remnant of sobriety is still a myth to him at this point, and so he puts out his hand as well, and I think for a moment he kind of this is good, let's get the hell out of here, and he shakes your hand. He shakes your hand, Engrin. Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it for William. I'll do it for William. You do it for whatever reason.
I'm gonna do it because there's magic out there. I'm just glad someone else thinks so.
When you say that there's magic out there, I think Thiradin pulls his hand back and then turns around and vomits. He starts to laugh at you saying that there's magic, and it obviously triggered a response, and he vomits.
Thiradin, magic can't be that bad. Come on.
It tastes like I've been licking the grass. Ugh. Oh, I don't. If magic exists, I don't want anything to do with it.
Why
I
not?
want.
Because they say that it's all demons and
We don't.
evil.
What if it is? We don't know. We don't know.
Here's my question, Thiradin. Here's my question.
Uh,
If they were able to hide us from magic, they had to have used magic to do that. There's gotta be good and bad magic, man. I'm telling you.
kind of looks at you, rolls his eyes.
How else can you explain it? Can you explain it any other way? Try.
Yes, over years of building, they built a large, stupid, impractical wall.
Yeah, a 300-foot wall against a horde of magic demons.
What if we don't know what technology was like? Perhaps they had giants or something. I don't know. Don't ask me questions.
I'm telling you.
You know I don't have the answers.
I do have the answer, and the answer is magic.
What would you do with magic if you had magic? A wise sorcerer.
Well, I'd probably try to make stuff move with my mind, or like make fires with the snap of my finger.
All right, good. So I'm glad that you are an altruist. Then I'm glad you're using that magic for the betterment of mankind. Moving stuff with your mind and causing fires. You. Fine. I hope there is magic for your sake. I hope you can levitate things and start sparks and do whatever else you think magic is capable of.
Thanks, Thiradin.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
Engrin usually never receives any kind of approval when he expresses his opinions, except for maybe with his dad. So he has a warm feeling in his chest.
If magic is what it takes to give you the aspiration to leave, I say we pursue it. Pursue it as hard as we can.
Yeah, so your family was really important back in the day. I've been thinking about this, and I betcha somewhere deep in your estate, or in the current Arbiter's estate, there's some kind of key or mechanism or some kind of spell that locked us all in here.
Oh.
You got any ideas about that?
Yeah, I'll go dig up my great grandfather and ask him what ancient knowledge he held. No, I haven't even stepped foot in the Arbiter's house.
Yeah, okay.
We could go knock on the door and ask if he has any magic spells in the basement gathering dust.
We could.
Right. Let's put some thought into it. Let's think about it. Let's make a plan. Next week is the Founders Festival. 2 weeks? Time has lost all meaning to me.
It's 2 weeks. It's 2.
Let's have a plan by the Founders Festival. Me and you. We'll get out of here. It can't be that hard. I'm sure others have done it.
If there is any secrets in the Arbiter's house, they're going to be busy during the Founders Festival.
I imagine most of the town will be busy during the Founders Festival.
Nobody would be there.
And nobody would notice if people disappeared.
I think you're right. I think let's plan for then.
Good. I must say, this is one of the most productive drunken nights I've had.
Yes.
You're also getting much better at the sludge.
Yeah, thanks. It's only because of you. You're the drunkest town member.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or an insult.
It's been helpful for my studies.
A compliment it is. And in that case, I will continue doing my part. For you.
Excellent. I start, skipping around the campfire. We're gonna get some magic. I pick up a stick and throw it at the wall. Magic.
And then now that you're doing this, I just kind of, I put my hands up, and I walk back over to the tree that I was sitting against, and I put a hand into my breast pocket, and I take out my flask and take a long, long drawl of it.